It appears that we are live. Alright. How is it going, everybody? It has been a long time for some of you. Most of you. Um, I haven't been completely absent on the internet. Well, before we do anything, I am Ben. I know in the past I would say that I am BOS Comics, but, well, I'll explain in a minute. And I'm gonna have a YouTube video coming out soon-ish, whenever I get around to making it, that will explain in more detail what's going on with this channel. And that video also start the new era of this channel, I guess. Because some of you may have already noticed that a lot of videos are gone. Um, I don't know in order to address this in, because this is live and unscripted completely. So, let me just go through a few details. First of all, this is not my main channel. This is not going to be the channel I post random things on like I used to. That channel is, I'm going to post a link in the description. But that channel, my current main channel is called Hey It's Another Ben. And I will post the link to this channel in the description of this stream. I should have done that already. But here it is. Yep. Oh, I don't want audio. Fuck. No audio. I. Okay, I also address this right now. On this channel, for the time being, depending on the subject matter, I am going to attempt to keep it PG. But on this channel, that goes out the window. I apologize if I slip up now and again. But just know, I am going to try to keep this PG. Sometimes how do I update? Okay, I guess that updated. I've never streamed on YouTube. I've always used Twitch, both for this channel and my main channel. Um, so, long story short, that's my main channel. This channel will have its purpose. I will explain in a future video. And you might, I don't know if you're going to be able to tell based on what happens this stream. I'm going to have two videos on the channel coming soon. One announcement and the update video I already mentioned. So, what's next? So yes, again, I don't stream on YouTube often. Obviously this stream's gonna be on the channel when it gets uploaded, and this is gonna stay on the channel because this is gonna fit the theme of what I want the channel to become, rather than the randomness that is my main channel. And my main channel will have more of me being, I guess, myself. That's not the more of me being me just as a person, rather this is more, I guess the word would be professional. I'm doing my best to keep this PG. I may slip up. I naturally am not the cleanest in my speak, so to say, and I'm only keeping it PG the stream mainly because the subject matter. I feel like kids would watch this, and it's intended for the kids watching it. So again, I apologize if I say an F swear, as my mom once called it. Um, I don't think Discord would say I'm live because I don't think I'm linked to this channel anywhere. Profile. You can't freaking do that. Can't freaking flip and do that. It's gonna take a minute for me to adjust to my account. Yeah, I don't think it's gonna link to my YouTube. Not that it matters. I don't really want people. This isn't really meant for just me being me, like my Twitch streams on my other channel is. I went off topic. So the plan for this stream is, as you, most of my subscribers probably don't know because they were here for the videos I since removed. but I made this Boss Comics account and the name for Scratch, the toy. It's not really, it's, Scratch, the website programming language thing. And, it's for like kids to learn how to program and all that. Hello, how are you doing? So, my plan for tonight's stream here is because, well, let's be real, I have left Scratch for my main production. I'll have an update video on this channel soon that will explain a lot and I also think the announcement video is going to also explain a bit. But long story short, I am no longer actively on Scratch. Oh yeah, I recognize your YouTube name, Tom. It's been a while, hasn't it? Um, so yeah, just gonna basically edit video, go to the Scratch Explorer page, and the plan is we are going to. I I am not very organized. I apologize, but so the plan is we're gonna go to news, the Explorer page on Scratch, go to like games and sort by new or most recent or whatever it is, and I want to do is I want to look at them, play them, give my thoughts on them, and if maybe look in the code and remix it and give suggestions to the original, like not really suggest, more update the game and as a remix, and then like have comments in it to say what I did and give advice to those people's future projects. A lot more wholesome than half the stuff I do on my main channel. So let's begin because I don't know. Yes, I agree. I really don't like Scratch 3.0. I consider it a buggy mess. I personally think they could have spent more time on it. I'm actually gonna use this browser. And this should, if I pressed it, if I did the thing right, this should bring us to Scratch. I still pop on this website every now and again to see what's happening. I'm currently on my old alt account. I made 3 years ago and used it once. Oh god. Yeah, we're just gonna. I don't use that anymore. I don't want that to be associated anymore. That is true, by the way. I intended it to be this, but I never actually did it. Whatever, I'm off topic. Let's go in and just. So here's what I'm saying. We're gonna go to games since that's my interest. And we're gonna go to recent. God, I've done this a lot in my spare time because I think it's just interesting to see. And and I'm primarily looking for original games because like that's obviously a remix. I am like 9% sure. Yep. Nothing against, remixes or anything. I'm just focusing on original games made by most likely, young kids just trying to learn, get the hang of programming, maybe see what they can do. I might play. I figured out. I will check out your Scratch later, Tom. I just want to focus on this for the stream. So, this looks like it could be original. This is definitely original. There are no notes and instructions, so I might make a note to do that. I also want to create and just open up a notepad. And what I'm gonna do here is if we remix a game or anything, I'm gonna write down what I do and just post this as a comment in the project itself. So let's see what this is about. Lottery does not appear to do anything. Smack isn't appearing to do anything. That made a sound. So is there any game to this, or is this just, there's no game, so, essentially, if there's no, like, set game, I have nothing to work with, so it's not really what I'm gonna focus on. Did that have a different title? Scratch games don't click. Oh, I'm sorry, I didn't see the don't click there, Mr. Numbers. Again, games remix. Pong games. Pong is like very common on Scratch. So there's not much I can really do here unless I want to edit, like, make suggestions for every single Pong game. Which actually, I have one other alt, which was this, which was my attempt to create an adult Pong project studio. I don't even remember. I think I made this because I wanted to see. I don't want to get too distracted on this, but I made this because I noticed how many Pong games are on Scratch. Mainly because it's a tutorial. One of the tutorials. So what's this games? Already, I can see a few things that are worth improving. I'm gonna focus on improving the actual game without completely changing the goal of the game, which the goal of the game here is clearly touch the star to get a point. So I'm just gonna focus on making touch the star, get a point. So just like get a point. Glide 1 seconds to random position I think is fine. Randomness is not something you want in games, but for this, it's fine. My first thing I notice, and I see this a lot in new Scratch projects, I did the same thing, it's understandable. But the use of the when arrow key pressed blocks to control a character is something I would advise against for a few reasons. The main reason is just feels awkward to control. Because you see that go slow at first and then it speeds up. And along with that, you can't press two directions at once, so especially in a game where you're following a random object, it's pretty useful to be able to move in multiple directions at once. And I just want to make it clear, I'm not like trying to say, I just want to make it clear when I give critiques, I'm not trying to like say, oh, you're an idiot for doing this. No, half these things I've done myself. Like, some of my earliest stuff on Scratch was literally just random thing goes here, move to it, and it's looked just like this. So first is replaced. I knew there was some preparation I forgot to make. I meant to write out a few blurbs for like common things like this. So I guess we get to do that together. Hey Jake, how you doing? So first things first. Alright, so I apologize, it's going to be a bit boring, but I'm just going to quickly write a description for adjusting arrows. When making a movement script, using the when blank arrow key press. Sounds nice. Chillin'? Yeah, it sounds nice. I got bored and I've thought of doing a stream like this for a while, so here I am, reviving this old account that I don't use. So what we're going to do instead of these basic blocks is we're going to, rather than have that control movement, we're going to have a forever script control movement, which is pretty basic. You have the when green flag pressed, and scratch 3 is a mess. Have an F block. And then just have a bunch of looping if statements. Actually, I'm going to copy that in a minute. And instead of having the movement be in these, you put them here. Down arrow would become -10, and then these would be left and right. Or right and left, because I did it in that order. Doesn't matter. Now, you could easily just first, you also gotta make sure all these are empty. You might just, probably best to just delete it, avoid clutter. So if we just do this, I think this moves at a good speed, but sometimes you need to adjust the value since you're no longer using the store move scripts. So I'm using a forever if loop. A loop as seen here will make the control a lot smoother. Luckily, as I mentioned, you didn't need to adjust the amounts. Changed due to a change in the speed of movement. So that's the first thing I noticed. Second thing I noticed is very basic, but I noticed it a lot more than I expect I would when I look at random scratch projects. Is it doesn't have a excuse me, the variable doesn't have a reset thing. That's interesting. Huh. Oh, I, this is me not knowing how to use Scratch 3 because these options didn't exist in Scratch 2. Because in good old Scratch 2, the variables didn't do that. Right? Yeah, no, variables don't do that in Scratch 2. So, ignore that. That was just me not knowing how to use Scratch. I thought for a second those were notes that people that made that as it if put in to do. But this is just a basic reset. Add comment. Added set score to 0 to reset the score. To start the game. And then I'm just gonna so that's just the basic, two basic comments. This was a basic edit. I don't want to completely overhaul the game, and there's not much to overhaul, unless you want to set a win condition, but this just seems to be a high score game. We could add a cloud variable, but my guess would be this is a new scratcher, so they don't have that ability. So it's, how do I go remix? C project page, games remix, C, and decide for notes on what was changed. Question, so like, do the comments kill you over when you remix a project, or is this just looping? I don't know. So yeah, let's just share this and we're going to the next project. So while browsing, I'm just gonna respond to you, Tom. Yeah, I mean, I think the thing with Scratch is it has such a wide range of things you can do with programming. Just so if you want to say, oh, I want to do this, it's just like, oh, programming's there as well. So it's like, oh, let me just program. Is this a new project? So let me just program what I want to do. Well, once you go outside of Scratch, there's a lot less just casual uses for programming, at least what I feel. I mean, personally, I really do enjoy programming, at least somewhat, so I have continued with some forms of programming and game development, which, again, future video updates and announcements and all that. But yeah, I don't really expect many people say on Scratch, or even some of the people that I'm, giving suggestions to be interested in continuing programming. But if they are, it's great, I guess. I don't even know what my point. I didn't even play the game yet. Why am I doing this? So first things first. Let me just reload the page to make sure I didn't mess anything up. So this is interesting. Oh, that started me. Oh, jumping works. There's something wrong with... I don't know. I'm curious to see what's going on in this one, because this is a lot of interesting stuff. This is interesting. What am I looking at? So, world effect to sin of timer times 10. To sine timer times 10 times 10? So, sound effects. This doesn't look complete. Like so. Pen? What does pen have to do with anything? I at least want to find where movement comes from in this, but I don't. This is confusing to me. Why is that not just a loop? Or, my blocks, which is not purple anymore because Scratch 3. So, my guess for what's going on here is there's a more advanced platforming game that someone else already made. That enter key here wanted to... I don't know, enter key's been on this project for 4 years, so maybe... I don't know. But I assume if he's been dabbling in JavaScript, he knows a bit more about programming than I would expect him to. But I don't even know what he's trying to do there, so I don't have any real suggestions. I'm just doing more basic programming concepts, really. So, Llama Games, is this original? Yes, it is. Red U's up, down. Oh, this is exactly why you don't want to use the when left right arrow press blocks, because clearly this is a race, but up and down don't work well. Stay on for a long time of seconds. Is that an overflow? Is that what's going on here? Oops. I don't think I did anything. This is an interesting setup. I see you. Some attempt. Yeah, that's definitely an overflow. Essentially what an overflow is I'm assuming this is a 32-bit program, and whatever number he originally had here was much higher than, you know, what a 32-bit integer would allow, which is, I think the highest 32-bit number is 2 to the 32nd power. I don't know how to do that here. But essentially, just know it's bigger number than it's a bigger number than the program can process, so it goes to negative numbers. This is definitely. Oh, this is interesting. It appears to me. Can down ever move? Down can never move because up has to be pressed as well. There's a lot wrong here. So I'm assuming this is just a basic racing game where it's red versus purple, but it's not programmed well, which I'm assuming Basketball 123 Bro is a beginner, so I'm gonna try to help him out here. I don't know where to start though. First things first, we should let's see if we can get this around to one script. Okay, backdrop one. So this is gonna be this one shouldn't take too long though. So we should put this in a loop. I'm gonna remove this for now because that seems kind of pointless. Basically, let's put this in a loop. Put arrow controls in a loop so they are responsive. We're gonna keep this here just a comment. So you can move this, you can remove the garbage. This is all that needs to happen for both of these. I'll just delete. Did not mean to do that. How do I undelete? And I'm gonna make this consistent with the last one. Fixed controls. Same as other llama. Fixed control. So it actually registers movement. Your script was. I misspelled script. I misspelled script again. I was checking for an up arrow press. Also made move speed consistent. Now here's another thought. Because right now, it's blurring. That's blurring. Responsive. So what I actually think would be best is to have a wait until block here, which will make it so you have to spam the up arrow to move. Okay, I guess that's not how it works. I sure that's how it would have worked in Scratch too. Oh, my mistake. You need to have it not up arrow. Why can you do that? So you'd have to spam the up arrow. And we might as well actually make them both consistent to 8. That's the numlock button to 8. So that way, So this way it's a bit more interesting of a game rather than just hold either direction. You have to press it fast enough, which still isn't that great of a game, but for what this game's trying to achieve, it does its job. So that's basic controls done. Have to repeatedly press the key to make the game more interesting. I did not mean to duplicate that, I meant to comment. So I don't see any use for the say llama for blank minor second script. So I'm just gonna leave it here and explain an overflow. I see no real use for this. So this doesn't function as intended anyway, as the number is too big for Scratch to handle, and so it glitches out and sets it to a negative number. So just a basic little, this is what's going on. And the last change I want to make is add 2 new backdrops. I paint a new backdrop. I do not like Scratch 3. Just say purple winds. Maybe make this. How do I make this like an interesting font? Just have this like this. And you can just duplicate this, change the text to red, and make it red. And then I assume backdrop 2 was the one I did, and no, this one's backdrop 2, that one's backdrop 3. Just gonna add a comment that says, "Made tells you who wins." Again, I'm assuming this game's supposed to be a race between the 2 llamas. I don't see what else it would be. So let's just quickly test it. If red wins, and that should mean that purple wins. Purple wins, but it's always good to test. When you're programming anything, making a game, it's always good to test it. I also make it is the when backdrop switch key thing still here? Yeah, backdrop 1, hide, backdrop 2, and backdrop 3. And that also means I should put a show at the beginning. Just to ensure they always show up. And I'll hide. So that's game 2 that we did. See on the side for notes and comments. Mini games. This looks original. Does not appear to be functional. Oh. Okay. Oh, really? I'll definitely check out your music later, Tom. That I'm actually interested to see what you can do. Why is this not stopping? Why is it? I forgot because this probably uses left and right. Okay, someone's telling me the person that made this is in English. Um, how do I see the person that made this? So, Jack Meister. He has two projects up here. It's from Austria. I don't speak languages, so I'm just gonna write it in English and just apologize for it. So this, for the most part, seems good enough. But we're gonna make it better. This one's gonna be a bit of an overhaul. Let's get ready. I've been waiting for when I can overhaul. So first things first, I wanna adjust how the ball moves. Basics. I've already explained basic left and right movement. Uh, I'll just put it. I'm trying to avoid creating a million different scripts that do the same thing, that do different things, because it's better. At least I'd assume it's better to have them all in one script. I can definitely think of situations where it might be beneficial not to. But first things first, movement is a lot smoother now that it functions like that. So this. So just copy and paste the same text we wrote here. Just put it in this comment. Now this is intriguing to me. And can I go to the original real quick? I want to see. So now the question is, do I keep that? Because I don't know if that's intentional. I mean, there's nothing here trying to stop it. For my version, I'm going to stop it, though. So that way I will include it in this and add another paragraph. Oh, well, it does this. This can be changed if the F up arrow first is moved to its own loop script. Wait 1 second. Now this I think it's quite obvious what I'm going to do here. So two things. I'm assuming he, or whoever made this, I don't know their gender, so they attempted to have it so it looks like it's moving up. But in order to do that, first you need a wait script. But I think it's quite clear that we're gonna do a loop instead of having just a line of the same block, just to optimize the code. And in a real-world scenario, it would reduce file size, and reduce file size here as well, but it's less important here. It's also just easier to read. I usually, for a good base wait time, I do 0.1 seconds, and this loops 1, 2, 3, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12, 13, 14, 15, 16, 17, 18, 19, 20. So it loops this 20 times if I'm correct. Let me just test that. Okay, point 1 is not fast enough. 0.5 would be slower. It would be 0.05 is 0.05 is what I'm looking for. 0.01. Perfect. So replaced the change by block. Many times. That I added a slight delay while it loops to make it appear to move upwards. I might actually do this. I'm not an animator by any means, but I feel like this would look better. And then have one last change to ball. And I'll just throw this in here along with the when key space pressed. This should also prevent you from moving while it goes up. That still feels a little slow. So actually, rather than have 20 10s, we're gonna do 10 20s. Just so it moves a little faster. I'll keep the complete reset. It's a bit disorienting, but I think it's fine. Now let's do this. So what I'm gonna do now is I'm gonna program an end. So there's 5 of them, so we're gonna have a new variable, mine variable. Just gonna have targets, because that's what they are. I'm gonna basically have set targets to 5. Targets to 5, I need to touch that, and change targets by -1. Wait, the script is called start sound now? Okay. I question that change, but you can change the pitch. That's actually kind of cool. I'll give it that. If that was there in Scratch too, a part of Untitled Fur would be a lot better. And by better, I mean easier to have done. I might play around with that in a minute. So the obvious solution, the obvious thing to do right now would be just copy this into these ones, but we're gonna get a little bit complex. Oh, first I'm just gonna add a comment that says added a score counter that tracks how many targets are left on the screen. We're actually going to take this out. And we're going to have this go to where it currently is. And we're just going to have a basic repeat. I think there's 5 of them. We're going to create a clone of myself and then change X by what's the X position in this one? -72, -170. How the? -170, -7226. So we're just gonna quickly calculate the difference between -72, -8, minus. Wait, I don't. It's just like 100, isn't it? Yeah. It's like, I'm just gonna change X by 100 since that seems to be basic. Oh, well, that does not default to 0 anymore. That's actually, believe it or not, I think that's a bit inconvenient since I always use these 3 set to 0. But that's just me. I should show this first and then. Perfect. And then. So we're actually not going to show this when it starts. And instead we're going to show it when it creates a clone. So when it starts as a clone. Do this. Then we can trash these ones. Now it's just this. And it shows perfectly. Animation's still not great, but I don't. That's not my priority right now, is animating this thing. So now functions great. You know, to reduce the lag, I also might just put a delete this clone at the end. So this is more advanced than something basic on Scratch, but it's a good technique to learn. Because if you like actually study programming and all that, one of the first things you learn is compression. Do not repeat things you don't need to. This is more advanced, but test the code, as in do not have too much repetition when you could only use one set on the script. Here I made it so one target clones itself 5 times, being the 5 targets using the same script If I can spell script as a base. This will ultimately result in more efficient code, meaning it should run faster and take up less space. I hope that's a decent description. It's since it's going to be presumably a beginner. Can I not hide it? Do that? Could you ever hide it? Do that? I don't expect them to understand what I'm saying there. Especially considering I don't think they can speak English well. But it's worth trying. And last thing I'm gonna do is just create a new sprite. It defaults to vector, which is great because I actually want vector right now for once. And say you win. Why is it default to purple? I thought that was just make. I think this is green. I have like 5 things right now that are filtering blue light, so it's hard for me to see colors right now. Pretty sure that's green. We're gonna make this go to 0, 0. I just have basic. It doesn't even need to stop all. It can just be a basic. And that's click hide right until. Now here's something you can't do that anymore. Here's something I personally do when I test for values. You don't always need to do this, and in this situation you probably don't, but it's just something I do, is if I'm testing for 0, I'll say below 1, just in case something makes it set to -1, it'll still say that you won. Target less than 1, show, add comment, basic code, waiting for the amount of targets on screen to equal 0. Have it set to less than 1, just in case for whatever reason it says there are -1 targets, it will still treat it as 0. This should not happen in this game, but is a good habit to get into. See inside for comments and notes. Apologies if not in native language. And on that note, I think that's going to be the last one we do tonight. It's getting late where I live, and I just wanted to test this out. Once again, we'll have an update video coming soon. We're going to have an update video coming soon to this channel. Do not close the OBS before I'm done streaming. We're gonna have an update video come to this channel, an announcement video come to this channel. When, I don't know exactly when. It's really just when I feel like it. I'm gonna be honest with you. But promptly they are telling they are coming. My main account is sidebarred on the YouTube channel. It's also in the description of the stream. And on that note, I think we are done for tonight. Maybe another day You know what? I'm sure I'll do this another time, because I do enjoy doing this. I'll just be more prepared next time. So, I hope y'all have a good night, assuming you're in a place where it's still night. And I'll see you another time. Peace.